Here we go.
There we go. Hi, I'm Frank Brill from EnviroPolitics, and I'm here today at the annual meeting of ANJAR, which is the Association of New Jersey Recyclers. With me to lead off is Dominick, who is the president of the association. Dominick, tell us a little bit about ANJAR.
Well, ANJAR is the state association. Our membership includes government, people, county and municipal recycling coordinators, representatives of the recycling industry and manufacturers. And we pretty much lobby for and help out people with recycling in the state of New Jersey.
Excellent. Now, this annual meeting today, you attracted over 200 of your members. And what did they get today? What did they learn?
Well, today's agenda included our annual business meeting, which is part of our bylaws, where we elected new officers and board members. And the regular membership meeting included a session on social marketing. We had presentations which spoke to QR codes, those funny little squares that you see at the bottom of ads, what they are and how they could help you in your recycling programs. And we also had a whole session on social marketing, the use of Twitter and Facebook as a tool that municipalities and businesses and counties could use as part of their program to promote recycling.
Good, thank you. We're going to come back to Dominick in just a minute for a wrap-up question. But first of all, we'd like to introduce now Guy Watson, who is the bureau chief for the recycling at the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. And Guy is always a featured guest here at ANJAR meetings because ANJAR members at the county and municipal level are always interested in the latest in terms of what DEP is going to require and what the legislature is doing. Guy, people had one big question on their mind for you today when they arrived at this meeting. Do you want to describe that?
Well, sure, Frank. With the general fiscal climate of this state and many other states, there was some concern about whether or not the grants that are annually given out by the state to counties and to municipalities to help their recycling programs was still going to be there going forward. And I came basically to assure them that I have been told that yes, those grants will not be interrupted and that they can expect, the same amount of funding they have been receiving over the last several years in the year going forward.
I assume they were pleased with that.
Yes.
Tell us how they, every town and county doesn't receive the same amount of money, right? How do they earn what they get?
Well, they document the amount of recycling that occurred in a given year, and this is on the municipal end, and then there's a pot of money, and there's a number of tons of materials, and then, we do a division, and then each town is paid based on the amount of tons that they had documented.
So basically, the better job that the town does in educating its, residents and getting them to recycle, it pays off.
Yes, it's
Okay.
a performance-based grant. Absolutely.
Great. The other big news, I guess, in recycling these days is electronics recycling. Would you tell us what that is and how it's going to affect the average New Jerseyan and when it goes into effect?
Sure. New Jersey is now one of 24 states that have passed legislation requiring the manufacturers of various electronic equipment, including televisions, computers, laptops, that sort of thing, to take the financial responsibility and the environmental responsibility for seeing that their items are recycled. So traditionally, for many years now, most of New Jersey counties and many of the towns had been running electronic recycling programs for their constituents, but they've had to pay to have that material handled. Under the program that went into effect as of 2011, the manufacturers have to assume that financial responsibility. So now and the manufacturers are given an obligation on the amount of material that they have to see recycled based on the relative place in the marketplace. So the larger companies, of course, have to recycle more materials, smaller companies less. But what it'll mean is it's given an opportunity for every resident to have a free and convenient mechanism available for them to recycle their old electronics.
How many other states are doing this, roughly, if you know?
Well, it's 24 states have passed the legislation at this point. It's not all, of course, the same. And of the 24, 22 are now in operation. The two states that have passed the law, but they don't go into effect yet, are New York and Pennsylvania. I think they both start next year.
Thank you. That's Guy Watson, Bureau Chief for Recycling at the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. We'll come back to Dominick DiTilio for one wrap-up question here. Dominick, how is New Jersey doing in the way of with regard to recycling?
Well, the recycling rates are up from the previous years. We've had some issues with solid waste going down because of pretty much the economy, but we've seen that level out, and as I said, the recycling rates are almost up to what the state wants. We have a municipal solid waste recycling rate, which differs from the total rate, and both that number and the total rate is going up.
Good news. All right, this is Frank Brill, editor of EnviroPolitics, at ANJAR's annual meeting at the Rutgers Eco Complex in Burlington County. Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.